Welcome back to the Mastering Energy Medicine podcast. I'm Beth Manning, and I'm a psychic healer, and this is the podcast to help you connect to your body, mind, and soul so you can heal from pain, disease, and illness, make soul-informed health choices, and fall deeply in love with your life. So welcome back to the podcast. I wanted to talk today about a few things. So I see people getting tripped up and stuck in their healing journey. And a lot of times it feels like, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, like you've been through this like never-ending obstacle course of specialists and doctors and supplements and, reading something on the internet and giving it a try and falling down these deep, dark, internet holes of, things to try and what's worked for other people. And, you just feel overwhelmed by options. And a lot of times people will come to me after they've been round and round in this kind of washing machine of, trial and error for so long. And one of the reasons why I created this podcast and why I do what I do is because I don't want to see people struggle. I don't want to see people like unnecessarily have to struggle for years and years and years in order to wake up in the morning feeling refreshed, being able to get out of bed without pain, not feeling exhausted, being able to do the things that they want to do. Because I know that I spent a good part of the first part of my life really trying to understand how I could feel good again. And I definitely went through all the rigmarole of specialists and diets and supplements and, trying every possible thing that could help me. So that being said, I want to use the next 3 episodes to really break down the top 3 reasons why I see people really struggling and how you can get off that hamster wheel, how you can take a shorter route to health. So today I want to talk about the first reason. So the first reason why I really see people struggle with healing their body, getting that clarity that they need, understanding, their path to healing, is that you're not embodying what you're consuming. So let me break this down a little bit. So often people come to me after they have, read so many books and I see, in a lot of the pain forums that I'm in, it's, what book can I read on this, or what supplement can I take for this? And I think people are really well-meaning, and people, they want to help someone in the way that they were helped. But first of all, the thing that we really have to realize that's so important is that just because you have a diagnosis or a symptom, it doesn't mean that you're going to heal the same way that somebody else with that diagnosis or symptom healed. So this is where your unique physiology, chemistry, energy really comes into play, because there's no one way to heal a knee. There's no one way to heal an autoimmune issue. There's no one way to resolve the headaches that you're having. And even if it worked for somebody else in your family or your best friend, or you're going to a specialist who has helped 1,000 people with headaches get better this way, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And these are often the people that I see that come to me is kind of saying, like, I don't know why this didn't work. There's no reason why this shouldn't have worked, but here I am. Okay. And I want us to all celebrate our uniqueness and also just keep in mind how unique you are. So when I talk about the fact that we're not embodying all the information that we're digesting, that really means that we're kind of skimming the surface on how we're looking to, heal ourselves, looking for something that's going to take that pain away. So I see people who, they mean so well. They want to connect deeper to their body. They want to understand what's going on. And, it's like going to yoga retreats and going to, different specialists, going to trying different supplements, reading all these books, maybe subscribing to some people that you think might have the answer for you. And the thing is, I want you to think about all these things that you're taking in and that you're consuming. It's just like how we digest food in our body. So if you eat more food, you're still going to digest at the same rate. Okay. And I think I see so many people who make healing their body like almost a full-time job. Like, I'm going to fix my trauma. I'm going to heal this. I'm going to, make this feel better. And they're really missing the fact that digestion has to take place. And what I mean by digestion is that there's a certain amount of time that things take for you to embody, that things take for you to make them your own and to understand how to uniquely apply something to yourself. So we can read all kinds of stuff on energetics and, energy work and all these books on how to heal ourselves and, maybe even do all the exercises that are in the back of the book along the way of, reflecting on things and going deeper and whatnot. But that still is often skimming the surface. And if this is you, if you're nodding your head while you're listening to this, I want you to ask yourself why you're afraid to go deeper. Because often when we are kind of, just searching and doing a lot of free things, like something is preventing us from actually going deeper. And often I see this as a fear. It's like a fear of what you might find, what you might uncover, what that root issue might be, who you might be when all that stuff is uncovered. And that can be a difficult thing to face, facing the truth and the reality of who you are. I also see people who are afraid to really invest in themselves. So much of why we need to heal is because we have this disconnect from ourselves. It's almost like we don't fully accept and love ourselves. And that's really what a lot of healing is about, is coming back to that self-love, coming back to that full, deep acceptance of ourselves. But man, they don't teach you how to do that in school. Nobody teaches you that, right? And I'm willing to bet that, most of your moms didn't show great examples of what it looked like to love yourself and love your body and fully accept yourself and put yourself first, right? It's like if you put yourself first, don't be selfish, be a good girl. There's so much of this rhetoric that when we start to heal, we start to really look at and we start to like head on, is this really who I am? Is this really what I want to believe? And so much of healing, as I've talked about before on this podcast, is about stripping back those layers. So I want you to get really clear with yourself on if you really went deep, if you really got to the core, if you really committed to that healing process, what comes up for you? What are those fears? What's holding you back? What are you afraid that you're going to find when you go there? And don't get me wrong, I love that there are books out there. I love that people are writing about their experiences and helping other people to heal. But I think there's this misconception that if I just read a book, like I'll figure this issue out, or I'll be all better if I just do this. And I remember when that was me, and I had just a stack of books, and it was like I would finish one book, and then it was like, okay, that's good. I feel really pumped up. I feel so good. I feel like, okay, this is empowering me. And then it would be like I would put it on my shelf and just reach for the next book. And I would never fully digest that book that I had read. Maybe I would tell a friend about it or like recommend it or something, but it was never an embodiment. And what does it mean when we embody something? I mean, it means that, to me, we take these lessons and we really make them ours. We really sit with something and we play with it, and we start to learn it inside out and backwards. And, so that if somebody asked us about this, we could explain it to them in 20 different ways. True embodiment is waking up in the morning just being that thing. And true embodiment takes time. So if you're zipping from book to book or workshop to workshop, or even I see people hop from practitioner to practitioner without really allowing there to be a settling in period of giving something a fair shake, giving something long enough to start to stick around and do the work and feel the transformation and start to really embody it. Because we can play with things and it feels good to us. It feels good to think about, I'm healing, I'm, doing this good thing for myself. We can do self-care. We can give ourselves that beautiful time, the bath, the massage, the whatever. But if the whole time we're thinking about, I have to do this, or this is what my kids need, or you're analyzing the flaws in your body, that's not really embodying the energy of self-care. And so much of healing is about embodying these different energies. It's about kind of swapping the energy that you have currently for a higher vibration one. That's often what I do with healings with people, is we're moving through the body, moving through the chakras, and we're seeing why there are these lower, like heavier vibrational energies of people. Maybe it's shame or guilt, and it's starting to move those energies through for a higher vibrational energy. But the embodiment piece is being able to hold that. It's being able to have the mind shifts that cause those new emotions. It's being able to move yourself out of an environment that was keeping you in those lower vibrational energies or away from the people that bring you down. So when we embody something, we really, truly make it ours. And I think this brings me to, the main point that healing and true healing, are different things. Like I see inspirational quotes all the time, and if you do this mantra or take my course and I'll give you these codes to activate this new level within you and stuff. And I love the intention behind these things if they're pure and true, but true embodiment is more and healing So healing and embodiment, it's more than a collection of ideas and uplifting quotes and, going and listening to one meditation or one activation and thinking that, I'm going to be healed, I'm going to be shifted, everything is going to change. This embodiment is what happens inside of you. This embodiment is that digestion of the food. It's that shuttling of nutrients to the cells. That's what true embodiment is. It's a change that takes place inside of you. And I also see this as the difference between when we kind of medically fix something, or maybe you could call it curing something like a disease, or, there's a surgery and then there's an absence of something. And then on the other hand, we're actually healing. So the difference there in energy standpoint, where I'm looking at it from, is that you can have a surgery, you can have chemotherapy, you can have, any other kind of medical intervention, and that underlying energy that caused the initial imbalance that eventually caused the symptom or the problem, then the diagnosis, we can just follow it down the line, that energy still exists, even though for now the symptoms are gone, or for now your blood work is clear. So to me, that's not embodiment. That's a quick fix. And yes, sometimes medical interventions are needed. Sometimes we have to have them, right? These are life-saving procedures. But we have to remember that this underlying energy needs to be addressed. And these are the things that kind of get pushed around, like it's just shifting the buck, right? Like if we don't address that underlying energy, it's likely to exacerbate a new problem or show up as a different symptom, or you just feel really off or tired or heavy over time because you didn't necessarily correct the issue in the first place. You didn't actually embody and heal what your body was asking you to heal. So I just want you to not beat yourself up for any medical decisions or choices that you've made, but to see that, okay, did I address the whole picture? Did I really embody the lesson here that my body wanted me to understand, which is why this imbalance started in the first place? What's off in my body? What's truly off in my body? What's the underlying energy here? What's that underlying message? And once we really embody change and embody, this understanding of what was off in the first place and make those changes, and once those changes just become a part of us, that's what healing is. That's healing to me. And that's what I aim for every single one of my clients. Because we're here to make a big shift. We're here to make a life change. We're here to understand how it feels to live in your body with less pain or no pain, or feeling really good and having a lot of vitality and energy every day. That's the beautiful byproduct of healing. That's the beautiful byproduct of embodiment. So remember, embodiment doesn't happen in a week when you read a book. It doesn't happen if you post a quote on your wall. Embodiment is what happens when you truly take something and you make it yours, and you commit to understanding it, to feeling it, to working with it on all levels. and really making it a piece of you, really integrating it into your energy. So that is one of the first reasons that I see people really struggle to heal themselves. And in the coming weeks, I'll cover the other two. In the meantime, I would love any feedback on the podcast that you have. If you love this episode, I would love for you to pass it on to maybe your friend who has a stack of self-help books and is feeling confused about the next step or frustrated. I would love for this to get into as many ears as possible so that we can slowly start to change the way that we all view healing and that we all view our bodies, and that we start to understand why it's so important to be connected to ourselves, and that despite whatever happened to you in your past, that you don't have to feel disconnected or like your body is just this strange alien thing that's causing you these problems. So I'd love for you to leave a review, leave a starred rating. If you want to dive into this and take the next step together, I have a grid light healing session. It's my own personalized modality where we really work with the energy of your body, getting in there, starting to make changes on the physical, the emotional, the mental, the spiritual, the energetic levels, really looking at your body as a whole and how to not only alleviate your symptoms, but to heal your body at a deeper level. So I currently have 3 sessions available for $888. I will put the link below. This is going to be a limited time offer. And if you would like to just get a little bit of clarity on your symptoms and what's going on, I have a Voxer special where you can send me up to 3 questions about the same health issue or a different health issue. And I will send you a detailed voice message back on Voxer, which is a free voice messaging app. I'll include all those links below. So thank you so much for listening today to the Mastering Energy Medicine podcast, and I look forward to seeing you next time.